Chicken, you're just a little chicken. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Netflops podcast. My name is Andy Doherty, and I'm your host. This is the podcast where we watch movies that are poorly rated on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. And by we, I mean my co-host, Adam Janketic. Adam, how you doing today, man?
Oh, pretty good. Watched a nice movie I saw as a child.
Yes, we watched a very throwbacky movie to our childhood, Catch That Kid, the 2004 movie starring Kristen Stewart and Corbin Bleu. And joining us as our special guest is our good friend of mine, Jake Prest. Jake, how you doing, man?
Yeah, that's right. Hanging in there, guys. Yeah, doing well.
You went with
What's going on?
The Randy Savage.
Yeah, we had to catch that kid and all around the country.
No, I'm hanging in there. It's been I love being. I think Andy, we did a podcast a couple of years ago when we were still in school, about football. I think. So it's nice to be back on, and you and I always have had great conversations. So Adam, pleasure to meet you again. So let's catch that kid.
So Jake, you specifically wanted to pick this movie. I sent you the movie list, and you're like, "Hey, we need to do Catch That Kid."
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
What was your reasoning for picking this movie?
Well, when you sent me the list, you had, I don't know, maybe I think there was like 8 or 10 on. You sent me 2 photos, and there was like 8 or 10 movies. As soon as I saw Catch That Kid on the list, it was the first thing I saw. I'm like, that one.
So you have a personal story with that, right?
Yes, Catch That Kid. When I first saw it, I was saying to myself, Andy put Catch That Kid on that, not realizing that was the movie I'm going to choose. Because, yes, so Catch That Kid, I remember watching the trailer for it when I was really young on one of the VHS tapes. Remember how Disney would or like all the other channel movie companies would put like 2 or 3 previews for, coming soon to theaters.
Yep.
Catch That Kid was on, I believe, I think it was like Lion King or 1.5 or something.
It's so specific.
I have a weird memory. Anyway, so I remember watching it in my old house in Rosendale, and then our local movie store, it wasn't a Blockbuster, it was like a mom and pop. They had Catch That Kid, and I was like, oh, I saw the trailer for that. Now, Kristen Stewart, I will say, and this is not sexist, this is not misogynistic at all, but she began and ended my childhood crush with that movie. She had a lot of promise with her character. And then as soon as Twilight came out, I was like, yeah, no, only Catch That Kid got me like really liking her,
Yeah, I mean, I thought she out of the 3 of them, I thought she was the best actor of the main cast.
Here's the thing, Kristen Stewart goes on to be this mega star, Twilight, and all these other things. Corbin Bleu, High School Musical, Jump In.
I was about to say, if you don't say jump in, you're excommunicated.
Yeah, I'm getting off the podcast. This man made a whole career of High School Musical and Disney movies. Yet she turned him into a simp. She turned 2 guys into simps in that movie. Now, I will say the scene when they're walking through that alley of all the homes, and she's like, "Oh, really good job with that thing." And then the blonde kid's like, "So you're like boyfriend and girlfriend now?" It's like, dog, relax. She said thank you, like chill out.
Yeah.
And then
where did that come from? Like that came out of like storyline, that whole story, because like this movie will jump like around with the storylines. It's like, okay, you know what? They're trying to save the dad from dying, and then it's like they're trying to they're figuring out how to rob the bank, and they're doing all these like little side missions in order to rob the bank, and then it's like boom, oh yeah, we're gonna have a romance storyline in here too.
It's Ocean's 11 and a half. It's like literally like Ocean's 11-year-old. That's it. It's terrible.
Boss baby version.
Because if you look at it, I think whoever whoever executive produced this or whoever directed this, they were like, man, Fast and the Furious is really a hot franchise right now. It's 2004. Too Fast, Too Furious came out in 2002. What was it? Oh no, 2003, I think. Ocean's 11 is heating up and everything. We've got all these cool, like, Bourne Ultimatum with all the high tech and Mission Impossible. Let's make a kids version of that. Dog, what 11 and 12-year-olds are like, man, I want to rob a bank with a high tech security system. No, we don't want to do that. We want to be normal.
Well, all right. So let's get into the synopsis of this movie. So the first thing that happens is that we find out that Kristen Stewart has, I don't know, I guess she has like a normal life. And she finds out that her dad is sick. Her mom is like at an overworked, like bad job and can't afford the money. So she takes it upon herself and her 3 friends to rob a bank.
No,
What are you saying, Adam?
she doesn't have a bad job. She's like the lead security consultant. And like this
For a
bank
bank.
is massive, like capital M massive. And she doesn't have the money to like $250,000 on her roll. That blew my mind. That was such a bad fucking thing.
And keep in mind, I got to blame the dad. Your business acumen is you have a dirt,
Go-kart.
like, you have a go-kart business and your wife's a lead security consultant. You should have been a little bit more, you should have also
Listen,
gone into
he
that field.
climbed
not, "Hey, let's
Everest,
run dirt
okay?"
farms." Oh, wow. That's great. The thing that always got me was when I was younger, I didn't realize that the scene when he shows off his bad scar to the kids and the daughter and Kristen Stewart touches it, and then he goes into the hospital the next day. I'm like, bitch, why did you fucking touch his scar? He's in the hospital now. I was so like, why did she fucking do that? Pissed me
I
off.
didn't even think about that. I thought it was just more like because remember he coughs or something when they're still at the go-kart race before the scene where he
Again,
falls on the wife.
again.
So but that happens before they touch the scar
Sure.
because the next scene is when they touch the
Yes,
scar.
however, 7-year-old Jake is not going to correlate that together. He just sees photos in motion and a story like arc. He's not going to know
Should have
that
coughed
then.
blood.
Yes.
Shot,
Why don't?
Yeah, just fucking.
How about he has trouble lifting something? Why don't you be more subtle with it? I don't need. Oh, my daughter touched my scar and now I'm like close to death. No, because that's not going to make me feel any better.
But when did he climb Everest? Because it sounded like he did it years prior. Because
there should be a
he's-
sequel called "Catch That Man." We should have
You
that.
catch that elderly man.
Catch that Everest.
Well, we already know the ending. Nobody did. That's why he fell 100 feet down and hurt his back.
Yeah. Just a weird. I want to know what the writers of the movie were on, because I'd like to get a
Well,
taste of it.
I have a fun little fact that we can get into later.
Please. I love
once we
this.
discuss this
Let's
movie.
go.
And I'm assuming that Adam knows this as well. So Kristen Stewart now, like with her dad, set out to need this back surgery. She needs to go to Denmark in order to get this specialized back surgery. And then they're trying to front the money. The mom doesn't have the money. She can't get a bank loan from this evil bank CEO. He was a CEO?
Yes, he was CEO. I don't understand how they didn't put a lien on the house or just sell the business, like to make up the.
Yes.
It's like not that like obviously 2004. Like I don't know how much.
We have
money
to
that
look at
would
the
be.
inflation back then.
But that's like you can like put a lien on your house or get like a second mortgage. Like that seems doable. You know what I mean? If it was like $2 million, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, they're shit out of luck. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I because I'm assuming that a full on go-kart track would go for like
Yeah, that's a big plot line.
tens of thousands
Yeah.
of dollars. But I mean, it's not going to make a dent in the 200,000. It might get it to like 190, but she couldn't even afford that.
But that's what I'm saying. If they took out a loan on the house or something like that, then they should have only had like what $50,000. Like that's super reasonable.
Yeah, that's true too.
I love that we're getting into the actual finances. Like, what could the mom done? What could she have done to do this better?
Well, she had no time to figure it out because the next day
Right.
Kristen Stewart robbed the
Yeah.
bank.
That's the other thing for me is like I love how the daughter is smarter than the mom of like, all right, but not in the right way of like, all right, we're gonna rob this bank. Meanwhile, the mom's like, I have to get groceries. I have to take care of my husband. It's like if the mom was the one, that'd be cooler. If the mom was like, honey, you need to rob this bank. No one's gonna suspect the kid. Then I'd buy into it more because now the mom has a moral conundrum of like, I'm telling my kid to break the law for my husband. It trumps love. Like,
Oh, so much could have been changed in this movie. To
you know,
have
like,
sense be made. Yes.
yeah, because I think the mom has at least 5 minutes of screen time in the entire film.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
we were just talking about that off air before we started. It was like she got like written out of the whole like party scene.
Like the dinner scene. Yeah.
Because I was like, oh no, now she's gonna go down because she puts on that red dress, which if you're robbing a place, you're gonna want to look,
Yeah,
inconspicuous,
different.
and you put on a
Yeah.
red dress to stand out, which was also weird sexualization of a 14-year-old Kristen Stewart. But,
yes.
like there was like the whole thing where she's going down to the party with Max's or Gus's older brother, and
The security nerd. Yeah.
yeah, as they're walking down the stairs, I'm like, oh, she's gonna go meet her, like she's gonna have
Run
some
into her
type of
mom. Yeah.
Freudian slip of running into her mom, and it just never happened.
That's not what a Freudian slip is, but A for effort.
Do you think she's actually slipping into her mom? Like, what the fuck was that? A Freudian,
Yeah.
I
Freudian
wanted
slip
her
is
to
if
fall
someone who's
dad
just like,
style.
yeah, today we saw the best in the world today. That's a Freudian slip. I don't know what the fuck that was, but
No, like maybe they're dancing.
oh,
And
mom,
then
we're gonna
she-
rob a
she
bank.
accidentally starts
I
dancing
mean,
with
you
her
look
mom.
great tonight. Is that what
And
kind of
then-
Freudian slip you're trying to talk about?
And then she falls on her mom. No, she falls on her mom for injuries that in which she.
Well, that's
didn't
what I'm
fall
saying. The
anywhere.
mom should have had a bigger role.
Oh, that's getting
No,
cut out.
seriously. The thing that I was sorry, and I didn't mean to roast you about that, but I just thought that was pretty funny that you
No, roast me. I don't.
Freudian
I'm not gonna.
slip into
I'm
her
not gonna
mom.
get it.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was
What
such a
kind of
weird
correlation was
thing
that?
to like. I know
Yeah.
this term.
Oh, it was the first thing that came into my mind. I was trying to think of like she fucks up and gets spotted by
Right,
her
no,
mom in
Yeah,
a
no,
crowd.
Yeah,
that's just
sure.
a movie cliche of like,
Yeah.
oh, more plot.
Because if
'Cause
the
why
mom,
not?
again, if the mom is the one that's like, honey, I need you to do this with your friends, and then the mom's kind of like distracting the homies at everyone's at the party. Now, keep in mind at the same time, yes, they did over sexualize Kristen Stewart. The entire party scene, older men like, oh, look at that girl. It's like, no, you don't need to look at her. She's
Yeah.
the daughter of the lead security consultant, and she's fucking you guys up right now with her friends going through the tunnels and going up and down.
Metaphorically, not physically.
No. To add on to that, do you guys remember the scene where they're at the barbecue and the kids are like, oh, like she likes nerdy guys, right? And then like the dad knows they're both
Right,
fucking horny
right.
for his daughter, like, and he's
like,
okay.
yeah,
with
my
it.
daughter deserves
He
love.
approved.
Fucking God.
Listen, he was dying. He was.
Yo, he didn't know he was
He wanted
dying
his
right
daughter
then
to
and
see
there.
her get some D, dog. Like she's just like
He
yeah,
wanted to walk her
wanted-
down the aisle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
before he went.
He was gonna do some weird like arranged marriage before they're 16. So yeah.
What was that whole thing when in that barbecue when the dad calls to her and he's like Madeline Rose and they're like no. What was that whole thing? He was like she doesn't like to be called that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's just like a simple tomboy cliche of just like
Oh,
if a girl's name is like Carrie, they're like, hey dog, hey, what's up, like if you call her by her real name, she's gonna be like, it's not that.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
argue that me saying
they call her
Freudian
Maddie.
slip was way better than me calling a girl K dog.
Yeah. Yeah. I was called J Dog all through high school. Not kidding.
You were a man.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
But
Andy,
they
did you
call her
also-
Maddie, right? That's,
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to remember.
both Corn Blue and Max.
Yeah, right. That's an ultimate simp move. Her real name is we like to call her Maddie. It's like, damn, dude, you guys are fucking.
She was sending major pick me girl energy. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Shoot.
100%.
Dude, the best
What were you,
part.
wait, hang on. What were you saying, Adam?
Yeah.
Before?
Did you catch that when Gus burned himself, his dad poured beer on it and was like, oh, it's a mountain climber trick? And like me and my girlfriend looked at each other like, yeah, you just got burned climbing Everest, right? Like
That's
what was that?
hysterical. I didn't know that. I didn't know he poured beer on it.
Yeah, he was drinking a fucking whatever it was.
The
Coors
cat-
Light, some shit.
Yeah, the catch that kid
was a tan
version of
can.
Coors Light. Yeah,
Yeah.
the generic Boars Light, as they call it.
Yeah.
Because my face a couple days ago when I was watching the barbecue scene was entirely just like, this could have easily been time for the movie that they could have used towards. Maybe there's a reason why the CEO of the bank is a complete asshole. Maybe we don't
Ooh,
get
yeah,
any
some
character
backstory.
development of that guy besides the fact that he's got, he has like a small dick energy vibe to him, and he's just like, ugh.
Oh,
Can't
do you
do
want to
it.
hear a quote from him real
Yeah,
quick?
Yes,
go for
please.
it.
A bank has no heart, only paper in a bank.
Spoken.
Paper in a vault. I'm
That
sorry.
is a Shakespearean quote right there. That is
And
something. That's an Oscar winner
also
quote.
that's also the moment Kristen Stewart was like, "I'm a fucking rob your bank, dude."
Yeah, that was
Well,
the funniest part.
what was his motivations? Because he seemed like he was taking like so much joy out of making her life like making the mom's life a hell of trying to like set up this whole security system. Was he on the side of the guard who liked dogs?
The story. I think this is the story that they don't want to tell because it's 2000s, the glass ceiling and everything, and like hush hush. I think she rejected him for some. It was some sort of like weird sexual harassment situation. So then he was like, "All right, well, I'm just gonna treat her like crap now." I think that's the true story. She wasn't gonna sleep with him.
I don't know about that because she treats
I believe that.
the bank manager like shit too.
Yeah, does he?
Yeah, he fires him later
Well, at the end, yeah.
when he stands up for him. When he stands up
yeah,
for the
yeah.
mom.
When he's in the spotlight, yeah.
Well, in that case, I mean, I couldn't really explain that.
I think it's
know
just like a power trip, but it's like there's no motivation for him to be like he already is a CEO. He already has that power. Why is he making life harder for someone to set up security in his bank?
Yeah, right.
I mean, maybe because kids come in, and rob the bank, you know? Because kids were able to just come in and fucking trick cameras that were costing them so much money. I feel like he kind of has a point.
Well, it's not on him because the mom was the one in charge of security, right? Or was
That's
she
what I'm
just
saying.
like the bank fault, or was she all security? I don't quite
I
remember.
think she like the whole I think he says to her, "You're from the security agency." So she doesn't even work for specifically the bank. She
Yeah.
works for a security
Right.
agency.
So it's a third party.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also remembering now. Gus, his brother, works for his mom, so even the security was hired by her.
Oh. That's an interesting point.
We're
Yeah.
reading into all this. It is a generic security
we're
company.
We're just beginning. I have 3 full pages of notes, and we haven't even glossed over fucking anything.
Do you want to start going over the characters?
Yeah, go for it.
what we liked about him, what we didn't like about him. All right, let's start with Maddie.
Dude,
Adam, how do you feel about Maddie?
Manipulated the 2 boys fucking left and right, and then in the end didn't give a shit about them. Like she was like,
She
"Oh,
teased
you
them.
gotta save my dad.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool." Yeah,
She told them she loved them.
but yeah.
She blue balled them
That-
completely.
That heart necklace thing was cold.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
that was
That is
so
dude, the
rough.
fact that she went into the effort of pleading with these guys. They didn't want to do it. They didn't want to get in trouble. And she's like, please do this. This would be the greatest thing ever. And then she cons them and manipulates them. She's the true villain of the story, if we look at it.
It wasn't that they wanted to do it. It was that they were like, wait a minute, this is gonna get me in with the girl. That's
exactly.
what their whole motivation. I mean, their motivations were fucked up too. But like, you know, you're thinking that you're gonna perform this action to get something from a girl that you like. Like, you know, they're screwy motivations.
Sure.
But she 1000%
Oh,
manipulated.
she
them.
completely.
Yep.
And then she runs away, and they're like, Maddie, and they keep running after her. I would be like, all right, I'm out. Like, I'm Kramer.
Yeah,
I'm Kramer on Seinfeld. I'm out. I helped save her
fact that
dad.
she wasn't like
Oh wow.
the fact that she wasn't like, because you know there's $2 million in this bank vault, maybe we could take a
25 million.
25 million. Okay. But still, I mean, that's what at the end when they're like, why did they take 250,000? Plus, they were dropping money all through those vents when they were trying to escape.
Yeah, so if they're like, all right, 250,000, you would have counted up and it would have been short anyway.
Well, it's a good thing that when they were counting those 400 and 600s at the end at the racetrack from everybody's donations, that it somehow equaled up to 250.
Yeah, I know. You know that the bank probably, like, out of the goodness of their heart, hopefully went against the man's wishes and donated some money. Because
for no reason.
I have zero faith in, wow, this go-kart rally fundraiser thing, we raised $250,000. Who in their right mind could be like, I'm gonna drop $100,000 for this thing? It's go-karts. What the fuck? I don't get it.
Well, no, that's this whole movie is just a plot to expose the American healthcare system and how broken it is, in my opinion.
Catch That Kid was the first. There's going to be a video essay on YouTube just like why Catch That Kid exposes current American healthcare problems. That would be so
Dude,
funny.
it was the first GoFundMe for American healthcare. Prove me wrong.
It's definitely this whole movie was just a GTA like junior kind of situation where they have go-karts and there's like all these crazy shenanigans. Here's the one thing, there's no like true to heart characters throughout the whole thing besides maybe the dad, and he has the least amount
And
of
he's
quotes.
awful. Like none of his quotes.
He exposes his daughter. Like,
Well, not even that.
ugh.
It's like none of his quotes. Like he was not a good actor. Like his things were like,
No.
"Maddie, what are you doing?" He was just so bland in all of his deliveries. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't save this guy.
I love to like show that they've also just throwing this out there. I thought the parents were divorced in the beginning of the movie when I first rewatched this. Did you get that feeling of like it was
Yeah, they
They
divorced
weren't in the
parents?
same room at
Well,
most
like-
of the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
And then when they were eating Ben and Jerry's, I was like, oh,
well, there was also that part in the beginning that like she's like, "Go pick up your sister
exactly.
or whatever,
Brother.
or brother."
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're divorced. Like, oh, she's like taking on the role, right? That's what I thought. But I guess the dad's so involved in the go-kart.
Yeah,
race
maybe
track.
this brought them back
Yeah.
together. The fact that he re-injured his back and his kid had to steal money. Maybe this is what saved the marriage. He's like, I can't believe I let my daughter do that while I was bedridden. And the wife's like,
Well, no. They dance in the kitchen together. They have a great marriage. Period.
oh right, and that's that's literally what set off the whole thing. So the mom's the one to blame because he put too much physical activity for dancing and fucked up his back more. Oh,
Well, no. She saved him because if he did that in bed, he would have just straight up died. If it was middle of
oh
the
yeah.
night.
I mean, yeah, but still though, she initiate the dance though.
No, he did.
Well, he's got
He
a
asked her,
death wish.
"May I have
Well,
this
he's got a
dance?"
death wish.
Like a
He's definitely
gentleman.
he's definitely into BDSM, and he wanted his wife to do that to him. That's sad.
Can we talk about how pivotal the go-karts were this entire fucking
Oh
movie?
yeah.
Like it was like I felt like 75% of the movie was go-karts or like go-kart-esque.
Why are the police chasing the go-karts to begin with? They're like, "You are on unauthorized vehicles," and it's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. It's like coming from the bank, and like, so is all the 100 people that are in this party too.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about how they like practiced dodging the barrier and they didn't fucking need to? Like the go-karts were just
Yes,
small
they did.
enough.
Yes.
Like,
Yes, they did.
No, I think no. I think they were trying to practice, trying to like underhand it or like trying to like avoid
the
the
beam, but they were low enough.
right, because they were worried about what was like they didn't want the backpack to get hit or anything, or they didn't want their heads to hit. Yet it doesn't even show like that moment of like the close up, like,
Yeah,
Am I gonna
right.
make it? Am I gonna make it? Am I gonna make it? They just go through it, no problem.
Also,
it's like
I was noticing in a lot of the go-kart scenes there was just grown men on the go-karts. Like, I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
picked
yeah.
up, yeah.
like the guy, especially the guy I think in the back right, who's you could literally tell he's an
Yeah.
adult male because of his legs were sticking
And
all the way.
I
up.
couldn't unsee the fake baby. It was a doll, like through and through, like
Yeah.
arms
That's
up.
right, because they have to bring the little kid with them.
For no reason.
Dude,
For
no
no
reason,
reason.
besides the fact that the mom
Told
had
him
to go
to,
to
yeah.
the party.
I feel like there should have been a fourth person in this movie, and they just couldn't get it. And they just filled in baby.
There was the baby.
I know. Well, I know they filled
He
in
didn't
for a
do
baby.
shit except cry
You know,
and
if
poop
the-
his pants.
If the baby did something like by accident, like that old cliche that the baby does something
Yeah.
by accident and it like ends up working out, I would have preferred that over not having the baby
Yeah,
do anything.
Or
Hits the closed elevator shaft.
yeah, or something like
kills
that.
everyone.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, not where I
when
was
when they're
going.
getting cornered by the German guy who's not a German guy with the Rottweilers, which it should be German Shepherds also.
No, that
You
was
wanna get-
no German Shepherds were way past then. It's 2000. Everyone's scared of Rottweilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it
But
goes.
why did they have to teach them in German?
Because that was the stigma was
Because they're diverse.
was like professional dog like German Shepherd trainers taught their dogs like police search dogs were Rottweilers at that time, and they taught them in German.
Okay. All right, then I'm wrong on this. That the one part where this movie fucking hits is on their Rottweiler research and how current police
they
police dogs
spent
use Rottweilers.
they spent 16 hours trying to read up on all the Rottweiler information and did about 2 seconds worth of go-kart training. It's the best part. That's what I fucking vibe with right there.
Going back to the go-kart, when they're sneaking in there, how come that security guard is so dumb?
He's watching the fucking Simpsons. Also, do you remember?
Yeah.
Maddie was like, "Can you make them louder and quieter?" And the whole time they're going through the
And he looks around like, "Huh, I hear something.
I hear
Going
and
on
see
outside.
smoke. What's going on?"
I'm trying to enjoy The Simpsons, ladies and gentlemen. Please.
No, he
Trying
just
to
clicked.
vibe
He
here.
clicked square on the Xbox controller, and he turned the go-karts invisible.
Dude,
Jesus.
I would have loved because Corbin Blue at one point is riding an electric scooter. If they're like, "Oh, I put the battery on it, and that's how we'll like stealth in, like no noise," I would have been like, "Oh hell yeah," That was because they have like computers that like go off like, remember the keypad just like, and it was like whatever
Yeah.
Star Trek, and they did.
Projection.
It's like, oh, also Corbin Blue had like a 3D model where Kristen Stewart was just like putting her finger and like the shit was lighting up. I was like, oh, but the go-kart's not gonna make loud noise.
I mean, they could have just honestly snuck in there because isn't the camera? Because there's got to be cameras in the parking garage, right?
No, Andy, I'm about to blow your mind. Ready? They do
Oh,
that
no.
whole scene, and then guess where they go after you get dressed up? The front door.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
And then they sneak it.
the front
They
door.
cut the
Yeah.
line.
So they did all that for fucking nothing. They could have just go-karted,
did.
parked, and then walked in.
and dressed.
Yeah.
And oh my god. How about the fact that Max Thoreau or whatever his name is that plays Gus, he just has like a faux hawk.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
nobody's questioning
That
why
is-
these
yeah.
children are dressed down at this party.
Yeah, like, ooh, what are you guys supposed to be, the janitor crew? That's like,
Well,
the hell's going on here?
what could have happened if she was like, "Oh, my mom's the lead security consultant." You like, and then everyone's like, "Oh yeah, that's your mom, Molly or whatever." Then she could have like
Yeah,
bluffed her way
Yeah.
in. That would have been something.
Okay. Fair
yeah.
enough.
But the faux hawk definitely doesn't help his case
No.
because I had a faux hawk for a little bit, and that wasn't the vibe. But because his older brother also doesn't his older brother who's the security guard also have the similar haircut?
Yeah, but I think it's covered by a hat most of the time.
It's covered by a hat. Yeah. And don't forget, doesn't he start hitting on Kristen Stewart too?
Yeah, and he looks
Isn't he-
old.
like, yeah, like, he's like 22 and he's like hitting on this 14-year-old.
well,
And then she manipulates him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, she had it easy, dog, to get through everything. I mean, she probably could have hit on the bank CEO or some shit.
Well, honestly, he was
So-
uncomfortable during that scene when she was like quote unquote seducing him. Like you felt the
Yes.
uncomfortableness.
Dude, I wonder if she has still is in therapy because of that scene.
Well, it was weird because they set it up that that the older brother likes her because remember there was like with the confrontation at like the racetrack in the beginning of the movie. There was like a little thing between the two of them,
Yeah.
and then like when she comes in to go to work with her mom to scout out the bank, he like sees her on the camera and he's like, "Oh, racetrack girl's here,"
Yeah.
like. So I mean, I guess they were setting
calls
up
her,
stuff.
that's right. He calls her racetrack girl in that scene, but then calls her mad at the rest of the film.
Yep.
Like he definitely had a character arc that they should have expanded on, where
Well,
he
you know,
starts to
when-
realize
when
her
you walked
dad is in
into
the
this bank,
hospital.
Yeah, when you walked into this bank, your name tag popped up in hydro in a projection. Your name popped up. Advanced technology.
Yeah.
Well, he had some character development when he saved them at the end and then tased himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he
tases
tastes himself.
Dude, what a fucking idiot. He's just like, oh yeah, let me help these kids. And tases himself. Like, stupid shit. You probably should just been like, go, I'll help you. Give him the keys and shit like that. Besides, because he tases the manager. He tases his boss.
Yeah, the lead security
Right?
guy, yeah.
Head security.
Yeah. Then tases himself. What kind of line of thinking is, okay, I just tased my boss, now let me tase myself?
Well, it was
Dude,
an
just-
accident. He was like flipping
Yeah.
the baton around and then he fucking got himself.
Yeah, but
was a-
still, how about you not do that? How about you just be like a little bit more serious with that fact of like, oh, I just tased this boss, now I have to help
He's
these
also
kids.
the one character that farted in the movie, so
It was a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Him with the baton was a Freudian slip.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry about that. I had a little Freudian slip earlier. Yeah.
Oh, it smells
That
like someone
was,
Freudian slipped in here.
And that's the T-shirt.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's the T-shirt. I Freudian slipped up on there.
Let's go into them. Let's go into them trying to now like break into the bank as they're trying to get like through security.
Again, GTA. This is GTA
Yeah.
Junior.
Yes, I agree with you there because that stop and go scene of them in front of the cameras being like we can't move and the cameras won't see us. That's where I was starting to be like I might need to turn this movie
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty. No, that was late in the movie. Yeah, it was like the back half.
Yes, it was definitely back half, but it was rough.
That whole
It
was like
rough.
10 minutes. It felt like a stop and go. It's like we get it.
And then they had to do it on the way out.
Yeah.
Yes.
when they get to the first door. I mean, so now they get the access code. Do you guys remember how they got the access code to get into the vault?
He just showed it to her. He's like, "Oh, I love De Niro," and then puts in the code in front of her fucking face.
De Niro. It's fucking De
I wonder if
Niro.
Robert sued whoever made the film of just like, huh? Do you like this, huh? You like put my name as a security code, huh? Yeah.
Well, that was imitate him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he does. That's right. I will say, as stumbling of an idiot that guy was, that's the same guy that defends the mom at the end.
Yes.
Yes.
As much of a bumbling idiot he was through that part of giving her the code, heart of gold, that man.
Do you want to know a fun fact about Mr. Hartman was his name in the movie? He
What's that?
played
About his character or the actor?
No, about the actor. He played the clown in American Horror.
Yes.
Remember that?
I remember he was in Gran Torino as the I think he was the barber in Gran Torino as well. Could be wrong though.
So going back in, they finally make it to the vault, and they're entering in like De Niro into every single passcode.
That's the other best part. He had it across the entire floor. You would think other floors would have different levels.
It was like
of
the
security.
skeleton key passcode because he was the like manager or whatever, branch manager or some shit.
Why would you make that at a
so-
bank?
Yeah, De Niro.
Also, I don't know if you guys notice this. I don't know how banks work, but don't the safes go like 40 feet underground? Why is it just like, oh, it's on the 40th floor, strung up high? Like, what was the?
Yeah. The reasoning.
Well, you know, when you first walked in the door on that day that Maddie went with her mom, there was a fake vault right behind all the towers, so that
Yeah.
you'd think that that was the real vault. So
yeah, which
you could
adds
really
to
put
the
it anywhere.
adolescence. Because she's like, oh, it's right there. It'll be a piece of cake. And then it's like, nope, it's upstairs. So.
But this is definitely after I think Mission Impossible 2, and I think like this is like the opposite movie to that.
This is what realistic Mission Impossible would be like if kids were trying to do this. Because if you wanted a fourth person, definitely Tom Cruise, because he could be like talking you through, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh,
Why are you going through these cameras, dog?
right,
Like, he
no,
just has a
Tom
meltdown.
Tom Cruise is a dad. He can't help, but he's on the comms with them, and he knows what's
he's
going
on,
on.
he's like, and he's like close to death, and he's like, you're gonna have to get in there. You have to put in the code. And it's just like, dude, imagine this. If you want to go dark, imagine the movie halfway through the heist, the dad dies.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Talk about that.
would have been a
shit.
better movie. Would have been a better movie.
It would be a better movie.
People don't feel in this movie.
No.
Like there is zero
No.
emotion out of any
It's
of
just
these
action.
actors in this movie.
All action. That's it.
I think definitely like Kristen Stewart was the best actor out of like everybody in this
Sure,
movie.
Yeah. I mean, again, the mom, Jennifer Beals, I think is the actress. She's a great actress. Again, 5 minutes of screen time. 5 minutes of screen time. But
Yeah,
yes,
no, she
Kristen
played her
Stewart
part.
definitely
Yeah.
played her
5
part.
minutes,
I'm not saying
exactly, 5
Kristen Stewart was
minutes.
bad in this film. Her character was poorly written, and it was just like, all right, you want her to be the female heroine in this film. I can't pronounce that. Sorry, that's a Freudian slip. But the essence of her character just didn't sit right with me. Watching it as an adult now, as opposed to when I was like, damn, she's fine.
yeah.
And then I was like, wow, what happened?
As a kid, I
I
saw no
replayed it,
flaws in
like, a
this
bunch of
movie. I was
times.
like, oh yeah,
Spy Kids
cool
came out in,
movie.
like,
Well, there's also when
2001.
did Spy Kids come out?
So they were definitely trying to capitalize on that for sure, but they didn't.
Oh, okay.
It was just more realistic. Yeah.
Yeah, like the kids outsmarting adults.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You have to be a genius, right, to even like think about. At 12 years old, which is what Maddie was supposed to be, I was not thinking of robbing a bank.
No, no,
You know?
no, indeed. At 12 years old, I was definitely, that was what, 2009, I think. Yeah, I was thinking about like, wow, the new Iron Man looks tight. Like, I'm not like out at my desk like having these blueprints of a bank. Like, yeah,
Hey, well,
fuck yeah.
do you know how
rob this
Kristen
shit.
Stewart learns about like the layout of the bank besides scouting at that one day?
Isn't it like her mom like had like some blueprints lying around?
She left
or, like,
out
some,
a
like, loose gear?
slideshow, and she just put on
Yes.
headphones and listened to the slideshow as her mom was
No,
passed
no,
out
no.
on the couch.
The mom was editing her presentation because it was her
Ah.
voice narrating it.
But again, Andy's right though. The mom was sleeping while she had it
Yeah,
on.
that's not.
And she
She's
was
in
like,
her own home.
She's like,
Well, it's my 12-year-old daughter's gonna rob this bank. Like,
yeah. That went great if the mom woke up. If the mom woke up and she's like, "Dog, why are you fucking listening to this?" I mean, obviously her cover up. I just want to
exactly.
know
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not like, hold on, mom, I have the intel.
and then she
I'm ready
and then
to
she
move."
then she took her to the bank the next day.
Yeah. Oh, can we talk about
Yeah.
that camera that Chris Stewart was like clicking around? It looks so weird.
Yes, it is. What a weird novelty. Like the prop guy that made that had to be like on drugs or something.
The one that it looked like an eye. It looked like
Yeah.
like every like.
And she like gripped it to take the photo. It was so weird.
I didn't see that. I don't remember that scene.
She was like, it was like a GoPro pre
Yeah.
2000. She's like trying to. She's like at one point she's like, I think isn't there a scene, part of the scene where like she's taking photos, she's pretending to scratch or something, and all you can hear is. Why is your skin making that
A
noise?
fibromyalgia.
Yeah. I got a crusty ass face.
Talking about sounds in this movie, the soundtrack to this movie, holy shit, man! I like.
It is tight.
I had
It
to
is pretty
pause
good.
it, but it was just constant. It was just constant, like the
Yeah,
fastest
Dude,
music.
I
that they
actually
could
like
find.
it. I love that. That was probably whoever that sounded like top notch. I think the only good part of this film was the soundtrack to me.
It was
The
a mix
music
of like
was
EDM and metal. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it
actually.
was actually really good. Looking and listening to it again.
I mean, yeah, sure,
thought it was
but
really
it
good.
doesn't fit in this movie at all.
It does though. Dude, think about it. If you're in some high-tech vault and you're 12 years old, you haven't even hit puberty yet, and you're like seeing these kids, rob these bank, like, yeah, you want some top-notch shit to play. I don't need fucking like, Marvin Gaye playing on trying to fucking rob a
Let's get
bank.
it on. It's just playing as you rob the bank.
I don't need some bullshit like that. I'd rather have some upbeat EDM.
Yeah, especially in like the chase scene.
That sounds
Yeah.
cool.
Okay,
Dude,
but that's
The
different.
chase scene had some really good sound.
That wasn't happening. That was happening like when the cars at the go-kart in the beginning. It was
Oh,
happening when
yeah.
they were like when she was casing the place and doing all the De Niro stuff. It was happening when they were walking back in that alleyway when
Oh,
Gus
yeah,
says
okay.
it. Like it was happening
Sure.
constantly through that movie. I was pausing just going,
Sure.
I need to take a
yes.
5-minute like headache break from this background music that just
Yeah.
is constantly
Yeah, you
blaring.
could have. I would love it if the scene when the dad went down with his injury, it's just like a and as he like falls to the ground. That would have been a funny little, like, all right, why did that scene need that amount of tension music? Like the guy just fell down to the floor. We don't need like some like, we don't need that. I would have loved it if like during the big chase scene is like this like sultry like jazz song as these kids are getting closed in on by 15 cops. It's like the end of the road. It's like that would have been tight.
Yeah, I mean, they get out of so many situations in this movie. Like the fact that they get caught after they rob the bank, which when I still go into that vault scene, but the whole scene with the Rottweilers and like Corbin Blue just knows how to scream German at them, and that's what stops them.
Right. It's like, what kind of character are you? The only thing is that you're good with like tech. That's all you're fucking.
That's the
good
role he
with. Like,
filled.
we need more. Yeah, but we needed more character development. See, that's the other thing. That's one of the notes I had on my phone is the lack of character development for the three main guys or girls, guys and girls, should have been a little bit more consistent. I mean, Max or Gus, he has a brother who's kind of like a dick to him. What's the reasoning behind that? We need more insight on that. Why does he have a crush on Maddie? Why does Corbin Blue's character have a
Yeah.
crush on Maddie. Like we need a little bit more development besides the fact that these two guys are horny for her, and it's just the lack of character development, especially as the movie goes on, because it's like, all right, how did he do that? What makes him be a little bit more like courageous and trying to help his friend out? Like there was just no.
How does he
real
hack the mainframe
setup.
of a bank?
Yes,
Because we don't even see him do that either.
kind of right. He just says the camera cuts away to I think Maddie, and the camera comes back and he's like, all right, I'm in. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
there was
How?
no scene.
How
There was
did
no
you do
little
that?
scene where you saw like a pop up happen on the computer, and it says like getting files or some shit, and like every obligatory bank heist movie that you see. So they didn't even have the
Right.
bad stuff in the bad heist movie.
Yeah.
They didn't have him like accidentally put in like instead of 4-3-22, he put in 4-3-42, and it just like
He
you
did.
have one.
Oh well,
more
Corbin
guess.
didn't, but Max does. I mean, Gus
Right.
does in the bank.
We should have had that for all three characters.
Well, no, that's where the baby comes in to fuck him up. Because remember,
yeah,
I think
that's
they were
right.
trying to get into. I think they were trying to get into the actual vault, and the baby was like playing with like the camera or whatever, the receiver, and Corbin Blue was trying to stop him, and he's like, "Stop!" And then Kristen Stewart's just on the mic going like, "Get me in here, hello!" Like,
I'm trying to babysit your kid, your fucking sibling over here, and he's fucking me up over here.
yeah, she bitched at them that
So-
entire time, and they said nothing
I
back to her.
hated that. I like that they were just like, "Fuck you," like screw this whole.
Oh yeah, at the
operation.
end.
Yeah.
When they find
'Cause
out
when
about the
here's the-
necklaces.
Yeah. The one thing that I do like is that I know they make a notion of like they do get in trouble, like they get like some sort. They don't go to jail or anything, but I like how this was a crime punishable by like life for a heist. Yet these kids don't even see prison cell.
Well, what's it supposed to teach people? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of
Right,
kid movies
right.
are supposed to teach, like, hey, listen, you did this wrong thing, and look what happened. There was consequences to you doing this wrong thing. There was no consequences to them.
No, it just basically told 2000s era kids, okay, go rob a bank and nothing will happen. Nothing will. This is what started the spoiled generation.
This
That
specific
movie. Catch
movie.
that kid has fucked in our entire generation of students and children with this terrible lesson of if you rob a bank and succeed but you get caught, you are fine.
Well,
Like
this
no,
is where
I'd rather
how I would have ended this movie is they all three should have gotten caught, and then the mom in the mix of things like came out and be like, oh, this is actually all planned, and she like the mom walked through like what she told each of them to do perfectly, and then they just let them go because like, oh, if this was a plan, we can't do anything, instead of they like barely skate by and then have the go-kart scene. I feel like that would have been much better of like a plot twist if they actually like, got caught.
I think if there was some earlier parts in the movie, like maybe she does wake up when Kristen Stewart's watching her presentation, right?
Yeah.
I think if there was like little moments that would have hinted at the mom, like
Knowing,
would have had the
yeah.
thought in the back of her head, like so far in the back of her head of, oh, she robbed the bank. Oh fuck, I'm also gonna get fucked in this. Like if she robbed the bank, oh, I get fucked. Like, you know, all the thoughts would go through your head so that she would like have the ability to improv that moment at the end where she's just like, because she's just like, wait, you were the one robbing the fucking bank? Because they say like go-kart at like at the bank, like when
Right.
everybody's coming out and she's like, what I miss, you know, blah blah blah.
She's
They
like,
say
"Oh,
go-kart,
shit."
but she doesn't like
Yeah.
it goes right by her. She isn't like
Yeah,
she isn't
yeah.
like, oh fuck, I own go-karts.
Yeah, one shit, my husband, my children are here.
No, she was
Was it,
coming.
like-
When she was not at the party, she was saying that. Excuse me. She was saying that the husband was getting experimental surgery or experimental testing done. That's why they left the baby with Kristen Stewart.
Right, but I'm saying it should have clicked with her if like it was like, yeah, go-karts, and then if she did see her, if Kristen Stewart's character or if Maddie was caught by her mom at the party, you know, she could have been a little bit like, wait, go-karts, kids.
Well,
stolen
no,
money.
the reason
The
her
fuck?
mom knew is because I forget, it was like the detective, the guy with the badges there, was like, oh, they had the bank full of money, which is the
Rent-a-cop.
25 million. Also, yeah, just to get into that, why did the bank have all that money just like sitting in it? You remember that scene where it was just like no nothing, no bond, it was just money like floor to ceiling in the vault. Like, why? What was?
I actually have a
Right,
note on that
yeah.
because earlier when she's going over the present, I think it's when she's going over the presentation, they're talking about how much money's in the vault, and they said that it's in gold bullion,
Yeah,
meaning that it's in gold bars. And then when they open the vault,
it's
it's in
cash.
money.
And also
It's
another
funny, yeah.
thing, the money is so heavy. $250,000
Yes.
like would have weighed their equivalent weights at the time at 12 years old.
Yes.
Those go-karts would have been on the ground with
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
no inch up. Yeah.
See,
like,
no,
come
because
on.
if you would have just clicked the Y button on the Xbox controller,
Yeah, the fucking bigger tires would have popped on or some shit. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, if you hit if you got the secret mushroom power up in Mario Kart, you could have gone faster with the money, dog.
I think I should reference the fact that we saw Gus put nitrous oxide into the he like souped up the go-karts, because I don't think we made that clear
Yeah.
yet. So I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, click buttons.
He's-
And the way that
he-
you activate
yeah.
everything on the car is through an Xbox controller.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the director's like, video games are the future with these kids. How about these characters literally drive like they're in a video game, and they're like, sir, this is why you get.
But
the big
it's
bucks."
not even like if they replaced the steering wheel with the controller. It was like behind the steering wheel was the controller, and like you saw Gus like wrap
Yeah.
around his arm uncomfortably and like hit X. Like,
I do think that part I was drawing connections to career opportunities, that was just like a thing of the time, because
the movie,
what?
the movie
Yes.
career opportunities.
Yeah, we did this. It was our second episode.
You guys did career. I was about to watch that a couple days ago. I haven't watched it.
Oh, it's great.
worth it. Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly. Oof. my lord.
Oh yeah. hmm You get some good sights in this movie, but like I was drawing so many connections to that movie, where it's like I think it was just like in the time of like early 2000s, you would love to go like go-kart race, like
Yeah.
like get chased by the police on your go-kart.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the second I saw go karts, I was like, oh, that's such a '90s thing. Like, when's the last time
Yeah.
you like saw a go kart like racetrack?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
For
they're
sure.
connected. They're like all connected to they're like not standalone. It's connected
Yeah.
to like an arcade,
like a theme
full
park,
arcade,
yeah.
and yeah.
Uh,
But
They have like a batting cage. and all
yeah,
that.
it's not one
All
thing.
these-
Yeah.
They got a sports bar there where dads can go get drunk and watch the games. Dad, I need more quarters. I need more beer. Fucking kids. So, and scene.
But to backtrack, I think like 15 minutes now. The reason the mom, I think the gears started turning, was when the fucking cop guy was like, oh, the bank was that amount of money, 25 million, and they only took 250,000. That's odd. And that's when the mom knew. And I think that's when the gears started turning. Was like, how can I get my my daughter out of this?
well, she goes to the hospital where the husband is. Why?
Because she knew that's
she just-
where they're gonna.
But then all the detectives come too, and the bank
Well,
managers and everybody.
because the mom led them there.
Because she wants to spend time
Oh.
with her.
Okay. So, but then she would have said, "I think my daughter did this." What are you gonna say? Follow me? Like what? Why are we going to a hospital? You know, like that didn't make any sense to me. There's just like a quick cut. There was like no explanation to why everybody needed to go there.
Yeah, I don't know.
And by the way, she should quit her job as a security consultant.
Yeah, children
because,
thing, yeah. Well, they also knew the codes,
Yes.
and the whole thing
And that was like a freak thing.
yeah, exactly, guessing her own name. But yeah, if
Oh
they
my
didn't-
god, we didn't get into
Yeah.
that.
if they didn't know the code, the thing would have like gone off, and then the like 17 feet of like steel rebar would have just like closed in on them after like the long pipeline. That was such a weird fucking entrance.
How about the alarm going off? That's going security breach.
Do something.
Security breach. Do something.
So, someone definitely got their money's worth.
And they're all
using
like
that
the CEO is just like, don't worry about it. Then the alarm goes off again, and they
Then he
use
freaks
that
out.
clip that they have. No, well, they use that clip that they have of the bank like manager to say like,
Yeah.
do nothing, shut off the alarm, everything is fine, and it works.
Yeah.
Twice the alarm went off.
Yeah. CEO definitely was like, wait a minute. This doesn't seem right. Do something.
Well, he was just I get so again, now we're getting to the part where we grasp at straws because things weren't clear to us in the movie. But so I guess what was happening was that there was important investors at this party,
At least one.
and then yeah, at least one, and he was French.
That
Yes.
saved the movie for me. It was the French guy like telling off CEO. That was funny.
What if they had a German guy? That would be so funny if they had a German guy, because then you had a German Rottweiler. He could have totally done that.
I argue the head of security should have been German, and
Yeah.
that the guy who taught the Rottweiler should have been German.
Yeah, that would have had some
Sure.
correlation at least.
And then at the end, Corbin Blue's character goes to Germany and studies German, and he becomes this great, person.
Yeah, you see the 15
They
years
could have
later.
really done some stuff with these characters.
He
15 years
learns how
later,
to
they
be
could've done
a
something.
German hacker.
German hacker. Yeah. Oh wow, a German hacker.
No, there's actually
wow.
the Snowden
He's a
prequel.
German dog trainer. Is this Snowden prequel? His name, yeah, Edward Snowden's the Edward Snowden before.
Yeah,
Edward
exactly.
Snowden, yeah. Yeah, that's. But yes, the should have had the French guy was funny. I will agree with that. He had a very interesting demeanor to his
Yeah.
character, and I want to know if the director was like, "Have fun with
Yeah,
it,
just ad lib
like,
it. Go ahead. Yeah.
do what you want." Yeah, you don't really have too much importance to the movie, so just do what you got to do.
Yeah, that he's definitely a side character that like played his role
Stood out.
well.
Yeah.
Out of all the other people, I really think Kristen Stewart was good. The mom was good, but limited, and he was like the only side character that was good.
Dude, even like the doctor and nurse were bad at acting. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
I don't even remember. I don't.
Do
Do
even
you remember the
that.
doctor was like,
The
"Oh, how
doctor,
much is the
yeah.
surgery?" She's like, "You're not gonna like this. It's 250." Like it was that. That's how bad the acting was, to my knowledge, which is pretty fresh. I think that's how it went.
Yeah, I mean, I did not like the way that Corbin. I think Corbin Blue outacted Max Thoreau. Max Thoreau, who played Gus in this movie. Why did they give him so many? Like, it made me angry
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
gave him so many
That-
lines over Corbin Blue,
Yeah.
who barely said anything. In this
It
movie.
made it seem like they were gonna wind up together. Because
yeah.
Corn Blue was on the sideline.
I was gonna agree to that too. Yeah, but I was gonna say though is that he talks a lot, can't back it up. Corbin Blue's silent,
Can't
but
back
like,
it up.
yeah, he's like, yeah, cool.
But she was interested in
Yeah.
neither one of them.
That's true.
She was only interested in what they brought to the table to this heist. After that, I guarantee you, she never called.
I
him.
argue that Kristen Stewart could have pulled off this heist by herself.
100%. Well, she did some stuff like she left
could've.
when she rappelled down from the bank. One left the bank vault open, which I guess triggered the whole fucking bullshit. Left her carabiner just fucking there. I know it's stuck, but goddamn, dude, like
Yeah, she could only. I mean, if again, this is why like when it comes to like I love the Ocean's movies. The reason you have to have everything locked down with a crew is so that every bit of your heist is executed perfectly with the guys that have that aspect to them in their roles. Kristen Stewart is the one that's actually actively going into the vault. And you have two guys who are working computers and trying to hack into stuff, trying to get the vault open, trying to distract security, trying to get everything up and going at the party so no one's alarmed. You can't do that with 3 kids. You need more of a crew. That's why I was always like, gotta get more kids involved. Like, imagine if they had a whole scene where a bunch of kids in go-karts just disrupted the party.
yeah.
Mm.
You know, you could have had that. Or you could have had like remember Baby Driver? The opening scene where there's 3 red
And he
cars
switches
on
it
the highway
up,
and then he switches. You could have had that.
I
with
thought
these-
I thought you were
all
gonna
these
say
different
they
kids
should
in
have taught the
go-karts.
baby how to drive the nitrous oxide
Ah.
that go-kart.
They should, dude. The baby driving the car would be so fucking funny. He's like doing all these sick turns, and like, how's a kid doing that?
To argue a point of like what they should have been doing, Max is super helpful, holding that flashlight, looking up at the vault. Super
Yeah.
helpful.
Max
He
was
the
awful.
true hero.
I'm sorry, Gus.
He-
True unsung hero.
Went out of his way to fuck things
Yeah.
up. Like he even steps
Yeah.
he steps on the giant logo in the middle of the room and then the shit starts happening. He types out wrong numbers when she's going up to like climbing up the safety deposit boxes to get to the vault, which they couldn't get into.
Which also, how did they get to the safety
Yeah.
deposit boxes? What was the?
Right? Yeah. How did they?
They were to the
How
ground.
they hack into that?
So they found out that if you typed in one of the numbers,
It
that
popped
they
it
would
out,
like
yeah.
just come out.
But I'm saying, so, but you know how like she went up like 5, 6, 8 security boxes high? How do you get to that high? Do you also have to do what she's doing and climb security boxes to get into
Yeah,
yours?
she's a climber.
No, what I'm saying, a regular human person banking. The security box up there, that's mine. And there's like, well, fucking hike up there, bud. Like, what are you?
Yeah, get it.
I see what you're
They
saying.
probably have ladders. They probably have a robotic. See, that's what would have been pretty cool if there was a whole robotic system with a claw.
The claw!
Like from Toy Story.
Sir, let me get your
The
prize value possessions. Yeah.
claw.
And he's just like joysticking. Yeah.
No, that would be cool. Imagine here's how I would redo this film. If I was Martin Scorsese and I was redoing this
Martin
film,
Scorsese.
I would have like say like all the security deposit boxes. He has a ton of money in there, but in case of said heist, he only has certain amount of money in these security deposit boxes. So you have to know the exact like what boxes have it. Does box 483 have it? Does box 292 have some money in it? Like, imagine trying to use a claw, like trying to get all these numbers in. That would have made it cooler, because then she'd have to really be like racing against time to try like, what kind of fucking money is in this? Is it empty? And say if she opens an empty one, the alarm goes off.
Mm.
Like, there's so many
Playing
possibilities. That this
fucking
film could have been,
Minesweeper in real life.
Yeah, definitely not
Playing
enough
Minesweeper.
consequence to like all of those scenes. The fact that like nobody really even checks up on like the CEO's office.
Yeah.
There's that one scene where fucking the bank manager goes to hook up with that chick, which I was totally uncomfortable. Like it caught
was
me
another-
off
yeah.
guard.
I fucking love that. They immediately were like, let's please the adults with some adult content.
Yeah, actually, it made me question like man, they put a lot of stuff for adults in here. Like there's heavy shit go like 10 minutes into this kid movie. I'm like, oh, it's your typical, kids movie. And then the fucking heaviest shit ever happens where this girl's dad just collapses randomly.
Right,
like years after he had an accident.
Right.
And-
Again, this is why when I was younger, I blamed Christian Stewart. I'm like, well, don't fucking touch your dad's injured back like that, lady. Come on. Gotta get this shit going.
Do you remember how busted the fucking baby is sitting in the hospital chair, and how up close the
No.
camera got? Do you know what I'm talking about, Jake?
Yeah.
He looks beaten and
Dude, this
destroyed.
No.
Like, this baby looked
No
like he
way.
went to the ringer at the end.
Yeah, and they're like zooming in on the baby who's like got like bags on his eyes. He's like,
Dude,
damn,
they-
just robbed the bank.
I think the cops they put police brutality on the baby. They beat the shit out of this kid. They maced his ass. So yeah, he did look brutal. It's a good point. I was thinking about that too, just now, because I remember that scene. I'm like, wow, is it the lighting? Is it like what's happening to this kid? And you were right. Yeah, this kid looks like he went through like hell and back, even though he just fucked up some codes and was riding around in a go-kart. I loved his smile throughout the whole thing. That kid was
Yeah,
having
he's a
the
cute kid.
time of his life, and not realizing that his sister was doing this to save their almost, close to death father.
That's amazing. I can't believe I missed that. Like that upsets me.
Go back
that
and
I-
watch it. I'm surprised I hadn't brought that up.
I've watched this movie twice now. I'm never watching this movie again.
Yeah. What are you talking about? We have to make this a yearly tradition. We got to watch this movie every
Oh,
November.
I'll
Please,
do it.
God, no.
Yeah. We'll watch it together. We'll watch it on like Apple TV or something.
Jake, have you ever listened to the best worst idea of all time? Do you know what that is?
What's
It's
that?
a podcast where these two Australian dudes watch the same movie once a week every year.
Oh, is it this is the Paul Blart
No, that's Mabim Bam.
Mall Cop, right?
That's
Oh,
that's
okay.
something else. But yeah, that's so
Yeah.
half of them. They started this podcast idea where they watched Grown Ups 2 once a week every year and did a podcast weekly. And they just get like slightly more deranged until they're like full on making like up stories and like all this stuff.
they start making backstories
Oh,
for
for
all
everyone,
the
yeah.
characters.
Yeah, when you're
They
doing
start talking about like the kids going to college in the
Yeah.
future. Like it gets insane.
they didn't see Grown Ups 1, so they're just talking about like, oh, what happened to Grown Ups 1 and make like fan theories on that. It's so good, dude.
What'd they do for the second season? Was it Paul
Sex
Blart
in the
2?
City 2.
Sex in the City 2.
2, yeah.
Oh, that's a bad one.
Look that they watched the
Bad one.
sequels. It's just the sequels, because so yes, but the video I remember is that there's a podcast every like Thanksgiving or something. They watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, or like they watch it once a year and they convene. They watch it in different ways, and it's like they watched it backwards.
Yeah.
They watched a version where they watched it without any sound.
No. The one you're thinking of is they Wizard of Oz it, where they did they played
the Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon.
The Pink Floyd album. Yeah. That was the video I was mentioning, is that the guy actually had some really good theories. Like the scene where they're at the security convention and it's like all the cool weapons and stuff like this. Money starts playing. Or like he does this laugh right as the song has that little that video spoke volumes to me of like, damn, dude, this podcast is hitting it right on the money. The Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, we're definitely syncing it up to Dark Side of the Moon.
Griffin McElroy is such a comical genius. He's also my favorite DM. I love all of his work. Andy, I'm surprised there's only like 7 Paul Blart podcasts, Andy. You should get into that. There's gonna be an upcoming one this Thanksgiving.
There's only 7. Well, we'll eventually get into those.
Dude, they go hard on that. Just the fact that they watch it. At one point, they watched it in like negative color, so like all the colors were fucked up. They watched it high on acid.
Oh
And the theories that they have on that episode were so good.
Yeah, Andy,
So
the two
funny.
guys from, I think it's New Zealand or Australia. I'm sorry if I got it wrong.
Yeah, they got great accents.
They dropped acid and watched Paul Blart.
Jesus Christ, dude. All right. Going into ratings of this movie. First off, we'll start with Jake. Jake, did you A, like this movie, and B, out of 10, what would you rate it?
Okay, so here's the thing: is this younger Jake who thought this movie was tight, or is it?
I'll take
me
both.
now,
I'll take both.
Watching again. All right, younger kid Jake would say this movie was good, and I'll say younger Jake thought this was a 7 out of 10. Current Jake, mediocre film, mediocre plot. There was the action in it, but again, there was no real story. There was no emotions to it. There was no character development. It just seemed like, okay, it's a sandbox movie of, high tech stuff happening. And I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10. Still somewhat entertaining. Like the chase was as slow as it was. Still, it's pretty funny seeing grown men stunt men driving the carts.
That just reminded me. Do you remember how they got away from the cops and then they sat there and had a full conversation, then left, and the cops were just still there
underneath a tractor trailer that they couldn't pass it.
Yeah.
They're just darn them kids.
They're like,
Where'd
fuck,
they
now we gotta
go?
turn around.
Yeah.
Adam, did you like this movie, and what is your rating? I should have prefaced this by giving you some of our previous ratings. Adam, do you need any ratings before you do this one?
No, I remember them. I'm putting it. I really want to put it above Good Luck Chuck, but I give Good Luck Chuck a 4.
We gave Good Luck Chuck such a high score.
Yeah. Well, that's again. You on paper, you think Good Luck Chuck is as good as Hubie Halloween, and that's recorded evidence.
I hate my life.
I don't want to say Good Luck Chuck's a better movie, but I'll have to give it like a 4.1. It's a little above Good Luck Chuck and below Hubie Halloween.
Ranking it in. It's just slightly okay, but we're not gonna put it too high.
I would have given it 3.5, not having the list, but because I have list, it's better than Good Luck Chuck.
Jesus fucking Christ! I gave Abduction a 5. What is wrong with me?
Holy shit, you
You
did!
gave Abduction a 5.
I gave Abduction a 5.
The Taylor Lautner.
The Taylor Lautner film. The Taylor
You
Lautner
gave that
film.
movie a 5 out
I
of 10.
gave it a
What the hell's
5.
the matter with you?
Well, no.
Dude, I gave that movie a fucking 2.
He gave it 3 extra points because there's a bomb in the oven.
Wait.
Oh
That's
my
what
God.
that's what gave you the sense. Oh wow, there's a bomb in the fucking
and
convection
in
oven.
Pittsburgh Pirate baseball.
Yeah, that's another point there.
All right, at least you have reasonings to justify it. I was just waiting for you to be like, "Oh, I gave it a 5 out of 10 because it's still tight." Like, no, I'm glad you have like your very observant, like, yeah, it's because of the bomb in the oven and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Andrew McCutcheon hitting a home run in that film.
And they were versing the Mets, weirdly, and nobody cared about this kid who what do you call it, went down an entire
Situation.
stanchion. He slid down
Yeah.
an entire stanchion and hurt his ankle and limped out with a dude pointing a pistol at him about to kill him. But that's neither here nor there, nor this
That's
movie. Go check
Pittsburgh
out
Pirate
our
baseball,
abduction
dogs.
episode.
Yeah. That's Pittsburgh Pirates baseball.
Yeah, so typical of
McCutcheon.
Pittsburgh for that to happen.
Yeah.
But if McCutcheon was about to hit a home run, you can't let the action slow down.
I'm going to give this movie a 3.5. So it's better than Vampires Suck, a little bit better than Abduction, but falls under Career Opportunities, and Hubie Halloween.
Damn, I wish I was on that career opportunities episode because I've been itching to watch that because I found this. This is a really weird thing. So you know that Drake song TSU?
No,
Okay, it came out,
but it's a Drake song, so I can imagine.
Right? Yeah, it's on TSU or it's on CLB, his latest album. Really good song. Well, someone decided to do a fan edit using the music video of the scene when they're rollerblading around the store. 3 minutes of that, and I was like, I actually want to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Fuck rollerblading.
See, Adam, that exactly why I brought that movie up for us was because I did what you did. I watched those scenes on YouTube and I thought it was going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I was like, this movie is insane. It's just absolutely insane.
Anything but
Dude,
that, yeah.
Dude, it seems like a short story that I would write.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not short.
Lovesick boy that I am. I know it's a long movie. I know it's a pretty extensive movie. But like, okay, your dream crush is at the store with you.
Yeah,
Locked in Target.
Like, what kind of fetish
Jim
do John
Get?
Hughes have?
in
And
Jim
John
Get?
Candy.
Do you not get
John
that?
Candy.
Adam,
What do you mean?
Well, I'm sorry.
in
What'd you
Jim
say?
Get?
Ah, gotcha.
When he looks up at the Target sign at one point and he just memorizes that it's like, it says like, instead of tar, he replaces
phases
Jim,
in Jim.
his name. You're
I have
gonna
to watch this film now.
you're going to
It's-
message me
it's
at like an
something else,
ungodly hour at night and be like, what the fuck was that?
Fuck,
Yeah.
What am I watching? Because I know the scene that the gift that everyone shares, or the scene I know is her riding the mechanical horse.
Yeah.
Like, I know I've seen that too many times to know that's Jennifer Connelly at her finest.
Honestly, an afterthought
but yeah.
compared to everything that goes on in that
Everything
movie.
else, I know.
Oh,
doesn't she
dude.
like? Doesn't she like shoplift?
No. To shoplift, she sticks things in her pants and then falls asleep in the dressing room or something.
And
like
she's
that.
wearing a skirt.
Yeah.
She's
Dude.
not
and,
wearing
And like, I will say this, and Jennifer, if you're listening, honey, that scene or that movie definitely was like the movie that made people be like, damn, she's really good.
Yeah, it made her a what do you call it? Heartthrob.
Celebrity.
Yeah, heartthrob.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And then all of her
immediately-
90s movies were that.
basically. Yeah, there's a lot of weird sex scenes
So-
that she had throughout the rest. She went from Labyrinth to Career Opportunities.
Yes.
And what the hell?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, right.
yeah.
So
Requiem for a Dream when she's
yeah, Requiem for
Oh,
a Dream. Oh man, that movie. Talk about I never experienced anxiety before. That movie gave me such bad anxiety.
You know what movie gave me anxiety?
Anxiety.
Uncut Gems.
Oh,
Yeah, anxiety, as I say. Uncut Gems. Yeah.
Really? Thought it was good.
Kinda, great film. I liked it. I saw it in theaters, but it was at the same time I was just like, this is like he's at his daughter's rehearsal and he's getting beat up in a car, and then he's naked in his own trunk. Like I didn't really feel like, I know his character was a complete fucking loser, and then he almost wins the big one, and then
He's a tragic hero. Classic tragic hero.
I just couldn't, like, after leaving the theater, I was like,
That's how you're
What?
supposed to feel.
right. I'm like, what the fuck?
All right.
But yes, now I have to watch Career Opportunities for sure.
Adam,
do you want to go over the box office budget?
do you
quick,
have
and then
that in front of you?
Oh, we have the numbers. Oh, I need to hear these numbers.
Do you have that in front of you? I
Yep.
can get it. I can get it. All right. So this movie, it cost $12 million to make. Insane amount of money to make this movie.
Oh,
It had a box office
Wait,
poll.
hold on. Say that number in full again.
$12 million was the budget of this movie.
No, I don't.
And
there's no way that movie in 2004 had.
yeah, everyone's a no-name actor.
do you
What
want
did
to?
the money go to?
Do you want to guys want to take some
Kristen Stewart
guesses?
At least 10 million of that with her fucking
Maybe.
salary.
Maybe.
What
Do you
the
guys
hell?
want to take guesses about how much this movie made?
Oh, I want to say it didn't even peak 2 million.
Okay, Adam.
I'm going for probably double at least, so like 30 million.
It made $16 million. It made almost $5 million.
No, dude, how did that movie? I thought it was a box office bomb. That's why when I looked it up,
Yeah,
after
right.
we were gonna do it, I was like, I thought the movie was a complete bomb. It made $2 more million in its fucking budget, or 4 million.
4 million, 4.9 million to be specific.
Fuck, what the hell is wrong with these kids back in the day?
I
yeah.
expect that to be so much bigger. You know what I mean?
I thought it was gonna be like I was really expecting it to be like, all right, a 16 or a $12 million budget, and I was expecting to be like, all right, this movie bombed, and that means it's at least didn't even peak 2 million.
Well, it's a kids movie, you know.
Yeah, but still, it's like 2004. It's like the budget, it just doesn't seem right.
I feel like everyone knew about this movie though.
Yeah, I didn't know about this movie
Sure.
before watching it.
Really?
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart is the main actress of this. Like, she led everyone on this trip, so she definitely had an okay payday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I can't even speculate of how much money they laid down to like where all that 12 million went. But yeah, it cost $12 million.
Is there like special effects? Like,
I guess.
what constituted 12 million? Because back then, 12 million
is insane for a kids
2004,
movie.
is it-
Insane
Yeah.
for a
Right.
kids movie.
But I
But
mean, like, there's no. It's not like they had Jack Nicholson. Like, it wasn't like they had a big. But sorry, it's starting to. Why don't you catch that kid? Like, I don't really see a $12 million. Well, then again, hold on. Disney was one of the. It was a Disney Buena Vista, right?
yes.
That explains so much. I thought it was an independent studio. That Disney
Sorry. It was Fox.
Yeah, it was Fox because I remember seeing that.
It was Fox.
but it was
like,
Disney Fox.
20th Century Fox popped up in the beginning.
No, it was 20th Century Fox. We did this movie.
Oh fuck! I thought it was a Disney film.
No. I can
no,
see how you saw that. I can see
I
how you saw that.
I remember seeing this movie like air on Disney though. Like it was like a Disney like it's movie night.
Right.
Disney
and like Catch a
Disney
Kid would come on.
XD. Disney
Exactly.
XD.
Yeah, well that
Disney
wasn't around
XD.
when we were kids.
It was
No,
on,
it
it was on
wasn't.
Toon. It was on
Toon.
Jetix. It was on Jetix.
It was on Hanna-Barbera.
It was on Boomerang.
So going into backstory about this movie is a shot-for-shot remake of the Danish crime comedy film Klatrelosen, which is
It's a remake.
it's a shot-for-shot remake of a movie that was made in 2002.
You're telling me that explains so much more now about this film, about this dad climbing Everest, and about all the shit.
Yes.
The mom not having that much motion. Oh my god, that explains so much.
And the tagline for
Dude,
that
that explains so
the tagline
much.
for that movie is called "The Gutsiest Girl Since Pippi Longstocking," and the title of the movie Klatrestosen also translates to "The Climbing Girl." So many references and so many like ties that make sense about this movie.
Adam, that explains so much about the girl climbing. Oh my god.
So Adam, what's your reaction to that?
Damn, dude.
I have no reaction. The fact this is an American interpretation, and like that's
Of a
why so much
Danish
is wrong.
film.
Yeah, but why? I thought doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what the hell this system is like.
Dude, that is so funny, especially with the fact like De Niro. Like, what do they have to was that a shot for shot remake? Like, what actor did they reference? like in that the Danish version of that.
And
That's
the
so
plot
funny.
is literally the story. Ida, with help from her two best friends, Sebastian and Jonas, rob the bank where her mother works to get the money to save her dying father. During the heist, the kids overcome high-tech security systems, guard dogs, and a nasty head of security to get a bank vault suspended 100 feet off the ground. So exactly,
So that explains the German.
yes, that explains
Part.
the German the German
And
part.
Corbin Blue just knows German. Oh my
So
God,
yeah,
dude.
that's the little tidbit I had for you guys, and I'm so
That is
glad that you didn't
perfect
have that,
tidbit.
Adam.
That is awesome.
I've like literally taken a step back from hearing that's
You were so quiet.
because I was just like picturing that in my mind. There's no way this is happening, right? There's no way
And
this is actually
that
the true
explains the
fact of this
soundtrack
movie.
too, because it feels like a foreign movie to me. Adam, do you have a review for this movie?
Oh boy, do I!
Oh, yummy.
All right, this one comes from Michael, and then we'll send off. All right, so Michael says, my mom left us back in '08, and all she left was a half-eaten grilled cheese and a DVD copy of this movie. Brings back good memories. My name is Adam J. Keddick.
Oh, I missed that movie.
Wow. That is a wonderful sign off. My name is Andy Doherty. Okay, you're just not going to complete it? Okay. Jake, thank you so much. Jake, thank you so much.
I'm sorry. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I am Jake, the snake.
Yeah, Jake, thank you for being on with us. I hope you had a good time, first off.
Well, hey, man, I was trying to catch that kid, and I caught a $12 million budget with a $16 million payout after that. That's fucking disgraceful. I can't believe that movie made more money. But yes, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure. Hope we can do more. And I can't believe you gave Abduction 5 stars. Can't fucking believe it.
Jake, do you have anything to plug? Do you have anything that you want to promote or anything like that?
Anything to plug? Yeah, Catch That Kid 2 coming out next year. I'm gonna direct it, produce it, and star in it. And
Perfect.
It right. No, you can catch me on TikTok, Shaken Jake, Instagram, Shaken Jake 1. What else? I have my Shaken Jake podcast. I'm gonna start up that again in 2022, but there's a few episodes from earlier this year up there. Still trying to reel in from what's been going on this year. So trying to think. I have some music on Spotify. Alex Cobra, catch me on there. thelastoutlaw.bandcamp.com. Catch me on that too. And I have merch, which I'll have Andy put in the description. Because I forget the link.
Thank God somebody has more plugs than I do. Because I always feel like an asshole whenever I have to be like, follow my Instagram. I make sports posts.
Yeah. I was gonna put my Twitch on there too, but I don't do shit on Twitch anymore. So
But thank you for coming on. Seriously, you could follow this podcast at Netflops Pod. Please DM us your movies that you want us to do. Guiding line would be like anything under like a 6 on IMDb, anything under a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, stuff like that. So the type of movies we're looking for. I'm Andy Doherty at Andy Doherty on all social medias. You can also do it there too. I make sports posts and I write about hockey and shit like that. So if that interests you at all, yada yada yada. To everybody listen to this, thank you, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye bye.